For my place-based lesson plan, I chose the grade level in first grade because I am teaching in a first grade classroom. I have been all year. I love first graders. They are so much fun. Our place that we will be focusing on will be the Konza Prairie. And due to COVID, our district is not allowing any sort of field trips. So this is a lesson that I'm actually wanting to teach to my first graders in the classroom. And in doing so, I don't want to plan for something that we won't actually be able to do. Lucky for us, the Konza Prairie Biological Research Center was kind enough to record a virtual field trip of the Konza Prairie, and the aspects was in just like a typical tour that a school would take. So the students will be taking a virtual field trip to the Konza Prairie. Our objectives for this lesson will be that students will complete the virtual tour worksheet after watching our virtual tour of the Konza, reflecting on the different aspects of prairie life. Students will conduct research on a focus animal, person, plant, etc. using notes from the video and other research websites, and students will also record a video sharing the facts that they found in groups. Our essential question ties into what we have been learning in ELA and in science. How do plants, animals, insects, and people each help contribute to keeping the ecosystem surviving on the Konza Prairie? I tied in a lot of our essential questions that we have been going over in ELA specifically. We've been talking about a lot about animals. How do animals' bodies help them to survive? How do animals survive in the wild? How do plants find their food? How do plants survive in the wild? How do animal teams help each other survive in the wilderness? So I have a lot of math standards and science standards and ELA standards all tied into this lesson, pulling the use of recording data into charts, and using materials to design a solution to a human problem by mimicking how plants and or animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. That is a NGSS science standard. Recalling information from experiences and gathering information from provided sources to answer questions such as our essential question. I'm really excited about this. For our assessments, I, as a teacher, will check students' notes as they go through the virtual field trip if they are not understanding the concept of note-taking, which we have discussed a lot in our class, and understanding how to pick one topic from the video, one focus area from the video, and writing notes and listening for those key vocab words that we will be talking about. Pausing the video and reteaching that skill, and how they can make their decision to focus on one area, one animal, one plant, one insect, one person that works on the prairie. They will complete a worksheet at the end of the tour as a whole group, and I as a teacher will go through each of the questions, reviewing the terms, reviewing things that we discussed or watched in the video. At the end of all of this, they will be paired into groups of 2 or 3 students to record a video on Flipgrid, addressing 3 to 5 facts that they learned either through watching the virtual field trip or doing research on given websites. Researching this on their iPads and working together as a group and recording these videos on Flipgrid to return to me. They'll be going over some vocab words. Starting out the lesson review, I always review vocabulary and essential questions first just to have it fresh in their mind so they can hear in the video, oh, we talked about ecosystems. Ecosystems means this. This is what Ms. Ryan was talking about when we talked about ecosystems, and listening for those context clues and figuring out what they need. I also included that I have a lot of low students and a lot of ESL students, and so because of that I have a lot of para assistants and ESL aides in my room, and I made a note in here that those aides will be instructed to help with note taking. We'll go through the virtual tour, which is about 35-40 minutes long. taking notes, pausing the video to allow for time and group discussion. Then students will be paired into groups to create their Flipgrid video. So the skills that they will be learning will be their note-taking, their researching. They'll learn more about the Konza Prairie, which is an area that they live. It is somewhere that is really close to them that they will have heard and be familiar with. Using those researching skills to find out what they might not have found out in the video. If they are focused on a grasshopper, our virtual tour might not have talked much about grasshoppers, and so finding those 3 to 5 facts about a grasshopper will help them develop their researching skills, finding out information for themselves, finding primary sources about the Konza Prairie or about bison or about the biologists that are out there helping to preserve the Konza Prairie. I was really excited about finding the virtual tour because place-based learning is, like in the title, place-based. You're learning about a place. A lot of these will have to do with actually going to a certain place, and with COVID and who knows how long we'll be restricted with that, there can still be place-based learning without being at the actual place, and these virtual field trips have helped me discover that. So I'm really excited for this lesson. A lot of fun stuff, and I'm excited to teach this to my first graders hopefully in the next few weeks.